Brilliant. James, how did you think that went?
Yeah, I think it went alright. I probably could have been more vocal and got involved in it a little bit more than I did. Timing wise, I think perhaps on the second part there was more standing around than I would have liked, but I think that's because the pitch was bigger than I usually do it. I think I overestimated perhaps the size of the pitch that was required for adults to play on.
Okay.
So in future I might have a smaller pitch because then it's a quicker turnaround.
Okay, and that's a fair point because you work with the 60s, the 5s and 6s. That's a fair point that you recognise that. It does change. We can't treat the kids like mini adults and vice versa, so it does change. People taking part, how do you find it?
It's good. Running, like footwork, shooting, defending. It had sort of all elements of the game. So
I like the warm up because although it was speed driven, it wasn't necessarily the fastest person that was always going to get back first.
Okay.
Depending on their position on the pitch when the cone is held up.
Brilliant.
So that was good.
Yeah. So you have to keep your head up, didn't you?
Yeah.
And not if you're becoming last, then we're struggling. So what was good in that session? If you did come last,
You're still involved. You're still in.
you're still involved. So generally we do the you lose you're out situation. So how did James deal with that? What was if you come last, what happened?
it's in the challenge to try and beat a bid back into the
Beat a bid, but you just lost your bid, didn't you? There was no like spotlight on top of you. It was just you gave your bid up. Done. Sean.
The first bit I liked, that there was, like that last bit, there was different roles with different positions. I thought that was good, and the way you rotated them. We picked up on the fact that you didn't, but then as we were talking about it, you changed it. So rather than attackers always being attackers, there's a good rotation. You explained well from the outset. What I did like as well was the use of your visual adaptations in it, because it kept the players focused. They didn't have time to mess around because you was always holding a colour up. It kept them focused on you, as well as trying to make a decision of what they're playing. They were obviously over there as well, which I found good, because it didn't really give them time to mess around. Game scenarios in that as well, the 2v1 was good. One thing we did mention was, in the last one, we was all saying it was a bit of an unfair advantage because of how much distance they had to make up. In one way it's good because it is very much, you're going to get found like that sometimes. But I do think that it gave them more of an opportunity to absolutely slaughter the defence every single time.
I think you're right. I think maybe.
But like you
I
picked
should
up
have changed
yourself
it during it.
in how big it was as well.
Yeah.
Like
when I was setting it up, I was thinking, I'm doing this with adults. I need to do this completely different proportions to normal.
Yeah.
And I know I didn't get it quite right.
But with the plan of the session, I thought it was good. I said to Lee, I like the way it flowed quite well, and everything was set out perfectly. And the use of the diagrams, because when you was telling them, there was something for them to look at, so they picked it up straight away.
I thought that was really good.
Yeah, I liked that a lot.
Yeah, that was good.
Because you weren't even look at this, and then I'll tell you. You sort of just held it, so they were looking, and as you was explaining it bit by bit, you could pick up on it straight away. So I thought everyone knew what they was doing.
Yeah, when you explained it verbally, I just did like.
Tell, that's why I was pointing.
Yeah, but you were not. Do you know what? I know. To be fair, I noticed that. But what did you still do when he asked you if you knew what was going on?
Yeah.
Still nodding.
No, because it was once the.
Yeah, but at the start he was like, you know, I just get my board, I just get my feet, and you was like, yeah, I already know. So that was a fair point. That was really good use of the visual aid. If you give players the opportunity to manipulate the rules, they will take it. So when you said you can stand anywhere behind that cone, didn't you?
Yeah, I did at the beginning, but I didn't pick up on it straight away.
But they did, didn't they, in the end?
Yeah.
And that's where we was talking about the unfair advantage, was that distance for the defender started getting longer and longer and longer.
Yeah.
My point being was, if I was defender, I probably wouldn't be here.
No.
I would come in here and do that, or someone would have told me, get over there, because you need to be aware of the counter. So we either need to say the players stay on that cone, and that's where you go from, or you come up with some sort of mechanism where they decide where they start. And we were talking over here is, could you have different stages of where they start? So if you had a blue, white and yellow cone over there, and the yellow cone was the furthest, and they started on the furthest, then the defender starts on the yellow cone. So that distance. And then from a defender's point of view, I start to recognise in distances. So if they're over there, I need to be closer. So that was the only thing.
The only reason, you know, I was going to do it from a fixed point, and then I changed it last minute because of what you said with Cole's one about coming in from different angles.
Okay.
You wouldn't go in a straight line, and I thought I better change that.
Yeah,
so that's
but
why I thought.
they're cheeky, aren't they, like James? Aren't they? Because
No,
they do. They would.
indeed.
If you'd have stayed, they would have been going down that fence.
They would have done it. Yeah.
They've used the fog to the advantage. They've used everything. You can't trust them.
I know. I didn't actually know my goalies were over there for a little while.
No. So you've done really well. Good session. Looked like the game. Lots of different opportunities in and out of possession, transition. Good session. Well done.